From 1130 CET on 7 January to 1835 CET on 9 January 2015, a series of 5 terrorist attacks occurred across the Île-de-France region, particularly in Paris. The attacks killed a total of 17 people in addition to the 3 perpetrators, and wounded 22 others. A fifth shooting attack did not result in any fatalities. The group that claims responsibility for the attacks, Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula, claimed that the attack had been planned for years ahead. The attacks began on 7 January, when 2 gunmen attacked the headquarters of the satirical newspaper Hebdo, killing 12 people and injuring 12 others before escaping. On 9 January, police tracked the assailants to an industrial estate in Damartin-en-Gaule, where they took a hostage. Another gunman also shot a police officer on 8 January and took hostages the next day at a kosher supermarket near the Port-de Vincennes. GIGN, combined with RAID and BRI, conducted simultaneous raids in Damartin and at Port-de Vincennes. 3 attackers were killed, along with 4 hostages who died in the Vincennes supermarket before the intervention. Some other hostages were injured. A 4th suspect is still on the run. At the time, the attacks were the deadliest act of terrorism in France since the 1961 Vitry-le-François train bombing by the Organisation de l'Armée Acute et Secrète. It was surpassed just 10 months later by the November 2015 Paris attacks. Background: in December 2014, 3 attacks occurred in a span of 3 days. The first attack occurred in Jouy Acute Les Tours, in which a knife-wielding man attacked a police station, injuring 3 officers before being killed. The second attack occurred in Dijon, in which a man used a vehicle to run over 11 pedestrians in several areas of the city before being arrested. The third attack occurred in Mont, in which a second vehicular attack at a Christmas market left 10 people injured, one of them fatally, while the driver was arrested after attempting suicide. Although all 3 attacks were deemed unrelated with one another, the French government heightened the nation's security and deployed 300 soldiers to patrol the nation's streets. Attacks. Charlie Hebdo shooting. The first and deadliest of the attacks occurred at 11:30 CET on January 7, 2015 at the Charlie Hebdo offices, where satirical magazine facility. 2 gunmen, identified as Cherif and Sedko Archie, entered the building and fatally shot 8 employees, 2 police officers, and 2 others, and injured 11 other people. The perpetrators fled the scene following the shooting. The primary motive behind the shooting is said to be the Charlie Hebdo cartoons making fun of numerous Islamic leaders. The shooting received widespread condemnation internationally, and a national day of mourning was held in France on 8 January. Fontanilla, Roses and Mont Rouge shootings. On 7 January, a few hours after the Charlie Hebdo attack, a third assailant in the attacks, Amady Coulibaly, shot a 32-year-old man who was out jogging in Fontanilla, Roses, in a park next to Coulibaly's home. The man suffered injuries to his arm and back and as of the 11th of January was in critical condition. 5 shell casings were found at the scene. Coulibaly was linked to this shooting after the shell casings were compared to shell casings found at the Port-de Vincennes hostage crisis. On 8 January, Coulibaly shot and killed municipal police officer Clarisse Jean-Philippe at the junction of Avenue Pierre Brossolette and Avenue de la Paix in Mont Rouge, and critically wounded a street sweeper. Damartin-en-Gaule hostage crisis. On 9 January, the assailants of the Charlie Charlie Hebdo shooting. Sheriff Fontanilla went to the office of Création Tendance Découverte, a signage production company on an industrial estate in Damartin-en-Gaule. Inside the building were owner Michel Catalano and a male employee, 26-year-old graphics designer Lilian Lepre. During the siege, Lepre was told by Catalano to hide inside the refectory. Throughout the crisis, the perpetrators were unaware that Lepre was in the building. During the siege, a salesman named Didier went to the building on business, and Catalano left his office which he had been hiding in. Both were confronted by the perpetrators and asked to leave. Didier realized that they were terrorists and went to alert the authorities. Catalano returned to the building and helped one of the perpetrators who had been injured in earlier gunfire. He was allowed to leave after an hour. After this, Lepre, who was hiding in a cardboard box, alerted authorities about the incident. The siege ended after 9 hours at 16:30 after police stormed the building and killed both assailants. Port-de-Vincennes siege also on the 9th of January. Koulibaly, armed with a Scorpion VZ-61 submachine gun, a VZ-58 assault rifle, and 2 Russian-made Tokarev pistols, entered a hypercar-kosher supermarket at Port-de-Vincennes in East Paris. He killed 4 people and took several hostages. He had a female accomplice, speculated to be his wife, Hayat Boumediene. Koulibaly was reportedly in contact with the Kouachi brothers as the sieges progressed, and told police that he would kill hostages if the brothers were harmed. Police stormed the grocery store and gunned down Koulibaly. 15 hostages were rescued. Several people were wounded during the incident. Lassana Bathily, a Muslim shop assistant born in Mali, was hailed as a hero in the crisis for risking his life to hide people from the gunman in a downstairs refrigerator room and assisting police after his escape. Other incidents. Cyber attacks. French media have reported that hackers breached the security of French municipality websites during the Île-de-France attacks, changing them to display jihadist propaganda. The French Defense Ministry and security bodies have reported that about 19,000 French websites have been targeted by an unprecedented wave of denial-of-service attacks following the publication of Charlie Hebdo with a depiction of Muhammad on the cover. The websites of French businesses, religious groups, universities and municipalities have also been altered to display pro-Islamist messages. Incidents at mosques. In the week after the shooting, the organisation L'Observatoire contre l'Islamophobie du Conseil français du culte musulman called for strengthening of the surveillance of mosques, and the French Interior Department has reported that there were 54 anti-Muslim incidents reported in France in 1 week after the shootings, compared to 110 complaints in the first 9 months of 2014. These included 21 reports of shootings and blank grenade throwing at Islamic buildings, including mosques, and 33 cases of threats and insults. 3 blank grenades were thrown at a mosque in Le Mans, west of Paris, and a bullet hole was found in its windows. A Muslim prayer hall in the Porte La Nouvelle was also fired at. There was an explosion at a restaurant affiliated to a mosque in Villefranche-sur-Saône. No casualties were reported.